Hello, good evening. I mean, this is just one of those things that has to be done. It's something one that has to be said, not because it is bad, not because it is counterproductive, but things have to be said. For instance, today is my birthday, Your Excellency, Mr. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda. Today is your 81st birthday. Today is also my birthday, the 15th of September is my birthday, just as yours is 15th of September. But Mr. President, see this? This is my medal that I got representing Uganda at the 30th World Festival of Youth and Students in Pyongyang in 1989. I remember this because I even met you. Now you see this. Let me bring that there. I don't know how many people went to Korea still have this medal. This is mine. Okay, I think you remember that. Uh-huh. That is mine. That is my medal. Proof I was there. Nothing fake about it. Okay? I am NRM. I am yellow from my bones to my hair to everything. I've stood, I've fought, I've delegated, I've campaigned for NRM. You know, what is funny is that it goes all the way back to the 80s, and when NRA was still NRC, then it became, I think, UPDF and NRM. But in the process of the conversion, Your Excellency, a lot of things get swept under the rag. Most of the people who were there at the beginning, all the people who were there at the beginning, fighting for this nation, progressing the progress of the NRC, the NRA, later on NRM, today, we've all been abandoned. We've all been left. Mr. President, I mean, it's your birthday. It is our birthday. Hmm? Not even a birthday cake. Not even an invitation to come and celebrate at State House. Now, you see, I would invite you to come and celebrate with me in my home, but I don't think your security team would allow you to come. I had a small cake I would have shared with you. So we celebrate, we enjoy ourselves. You know, abroad, like in the UK, you got like previously Queen Elizabeth would invite people who shared her birthday to Buckingham Palace to have a cup of tea in the garden, the Rose Garden and stuff. And in the US, of course, the Rose Garden. In Denmark, in Holland, in all the places where the kings and queens, they do that. Now, Your Excellency, the President, I love you. You are the greatest president Uganda's had. No hands down. I don't care what anybody says. They can kill me, but I'll still say the same thing. I've supported you from day one. I've fought for NRA, NRM, NRC day one. And I'll still fight. And my blood is yellow. Yellow. But I am not yellow. There's two differences. There's yellow being the motto and the process of developing Uganda. Your 10-point mandate that you brought into Uganda to develop Uganda, to progress Uganda, not to retrograde Uganda, not become regressive. We're progressive people. NRA, NRC, now NRM, UPDF has always been a progressive party. Today, Mr. President, I don't know what to say. There's a lot to say, but I can't say it all. Anyway, I mean, if I'm still talking tomorrow, then I'm alive. If I'm not talking tomorrow, then someone took me out. You know, there are those so-called numberless cars, the people who wear black, you know what I'm talking about, the so-called mafias and stuff. I'm not going to dwell about the mafia. I'm not going to dwell. But, Mr. President, there are people who stop us, the people you chose to support you, from getting to you. I mean, cadreship, I thought was for life. You said it. The time I met you, you said, once a cadre, always a cadre. A cadre, once a cadre, always a cadre. A cadre for life. Where did that stop? When NRC became NRA? No. Let me get back to that. When NRA stroke NRC became what? NRM? When it became a movement, the council, the cadres of the years, got eradicated, deleted. Yes, don't get me wrong, Mr. President. The people who are close to you, there's some who are in NRC who have made it. They've made it big. But how about the promises to us, the other people? Those who also struggled. Those you said, come here. You're now part of us. You're now NRC. You're now NRA. What happened to those people? I have a long story, Mr. President. There's part 1, there's part 2, part 3, part 4, maybe part 5. If I'm alive, I'll say it all. But if I'm not alive, my descendants will tell you if you get to them in peace. Because there are people who are not going to like what I've just talked about. Nobody's going to like what I've just said. Nobody's going to accept what I've just said. Because everything is always swept under the rag. Nobody wants people to be vocal. Nobody wants anybody to talk. Nobody wants anybody to open up. I've written to your office. I've come to your office, even to State House. I've come to Uganda Parliament, the President's office. I've been stopped at the gate. I've brought letters, opened references, files. Follow up, zilch, zero, nada, nothing. Now, there are people who work, and then there are people who are just there to show papers and hide those papers, sweep the papers under the rug, go and burn them, throw them in the trash can, and nothing gets to you. So you don't know what is happening around you. You call us, you say, come to me, and I will deliver. You make a promise. But the people around you don't allow your promise to come to fruition. Your promise stops where you said it. Not because you're the bad person, you're the best person that I've ever met. You're the best person that I know who is honest in trying to achieve excellence to provide income for everybody in Uganda, regardless of where the person comes from. But I, on the other hand, like I've told you, Mr. President, I'm not here just about myself. I'm here about the people. Yeah? The people who try to get to you but have failed. The people who are stopped, those who are killed just because they were getting to you. Because someone wants to come and tell you something that is wrong. The corruption around you, Mr. President, it's not you. But the corruption around you is destroying your image. Not today, not tomorrow, even the day after tomorrow. There will be someone like me complaining, saying, hey, why have I been forgotten? I remember when you were doing the walk back through history, when you went back to Luero and you were walking, you reached the home of this old lady. This is a lady you had promised to provide for because she saved you during the Bush Wars. But the house you promised her hadn't been built. I'll give you a second example. I think you went to Tororo. At that Tororo Mbale, the home you spent a night in before you escaped out of Uganda to go abroad during the crisis. I mean, all those things. You promise, you deliver, but the people who are to deliver don't deliver. As for my case, my promises are many, Mr. President. You are one of the, you are not one of, you are the greatest leader Uganda's ever had. Period. You brought development, you brought peace. I can say this because I've grown up through all the regimes. I've been through Amin, I've been through Obore, I've been through Tito, I've been through, you name it. I've been through it. And now, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the best of the best. I sleep in my bed in peace because you're president. I sleep in peace because you're president. I walk the streets in peace because you're president. I try to achieve and excel because you're president. I am free to achieve and excel because you're president, not because Obote is president, or because Obote was president and he didn't deliver. I can testify. We are tribesmates. My father died because of Obote. My father died because of all the regimes that came and went. A soldier, a fallen soldier. That's why I told you, sir, that I talked to you about 3 or 4 or 5 things. There's Mutukula. You forgot about us. The victims of Mutukula, you forgot about us. The promises you made, you forgot. It was not delivered. A lot of us sit here wondering when that promise will come to fruition. The time you meet people like us, then you say, come to my office and I will give you this, I'll provide this. Yes, you say it. But when it comes to delivery, it doesn't happen. 30 years ago, 20 years ago, we have Mutukula. You promised. It hasn't happened. There are victims out there, they don't want to talk about it, but I told myself, today, Mr. President, is our birthday. Yours is 15th, mine is 15th. I shout, I open my mouth. If someone shuts me up, then it has been written. But if nobody shuts me up, it will be written that everybody who cried did not cry for nothing. Mutukula haunts us, Mr. President. Blood was shed in Mutukula. Mutukula haunts us. There are memorials being built for Luero, the victims of the Luero Triangle, the paths that you took. But there is no memorial for the Mutukula victims, Mr. President. It is just a stone in remembrance on the site to say, we shall never forget Mutukula. It happened, but it has been swept under the rug. Mutukula was the one thing that helped Uganda defeat Amin. Because after Mutukula, the world opened their eyes. The deaths that were happening also added, but Mutukula was an eye-opener. The people who survived that failed attempt to recapture Uganda escaped back to Tanzania with their tails between their legs. Cowards. Okay, they were not cowards. Forgive me, Mr. President. They were not cowards. They came, they were not prepared. They were ill-prepared. They rushed back. They came, they fought, but they were not prepared. But guess what? Many survived and ran back to Tanzania to regroup. But Mr. President, what happened to those who were captured? Those who ended up in Mutukula prison? Those who lost their lives, who were executed? Those who were killed and thrown in River Kagera and eaten by crocodiles? I'm a victim. My father was one of them. My father died in Mutukula, Mr. President. He was a captain. You know, it's there, it's in the books. It's not fake, it is real. He died at Mutukula, Mr. President. But there's no memorial. We have nothing to show for what happened. Uganda has built memorials for the Luero victims. How about Mutukula victims? Medals are given every time. Heroes Medal, Naluvale Medal, I don't know, Independence Medal. I don't even know the names of the medals. I have written to the medal award offices. I have written, not one, not twice, not 3 times. I think when it comes to all the stories about Mutukula, it's like Jesus telling Peter that you will deny me 3 times and the cock will crow and say that you claim you don't know me. Am I going to be a Peter? I don't know. Your Excellency, can Uganda deny Mutukula, the blood that flowed on River Kagera, the bodies that were never recovered? Oh, by the way, Mr. President, I did not bury my father because I didn't have any bones to bury. They became crocodile food. Those are my memories, Mr. President. You paid my fees. I don't think you remember that, but you did. When you were Minister of Defense, when you came back from exile and you were Minister of Defense, you paid my fees because you recognized the need for it. I'm alive, I'm a human, I've achieved, I've done the things I do, and I celebrate you, Your Excellency, Mr. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, Yoweri Kaguta Tibuhaburwa Museveni. You're a great leader. You inspire. You will always inspire. You will always provide. You will always give. But the people you mandate to run the processes and the progress you want to instill in people are the ones that disappoint. We study, we hope to get jobs. We don't, because you, the qualified person, are not given a job because you don't have the connection. I've written to your office, I've come to your office, I've been shut. I've opened files, I've got reference numbers that I don't know. Some I've forgotten, some I remember. I've written emails, I've sent letters. Recently, I even wrote to the CDF about Mutukula. Nothing has happened. For how long shall we cry? For how long shall we shed tears without being remembered? For how long will medals be given to people who claim to have done great things for Uganda? Don't get me wrong, they have done great things for Uganda, but how about the heroes who were sacrificed so people could survive to regroup, to come back and try again? How about those people? And the heroes? It's just a medal, Mr. President. It's just a medal. Give each of the family members of Mutukula a medal. Just a medal. To say, thank you, we have not forgotten. Lest we forget. It's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. Lest we forget. Just give us a memorial. Give us a medal so we can put it in our homes. For all those mothers who are still alive, the widows who brought up their orphans, those children who survived after their parents, their fathers were massacred and executed at Mutukula. For those children, give each of those families a medal. Please. This one is not, it's a request, Mr. President. So we can close that chapter and know that Uganda remembers us. Just like Luero. Don't just think of Luero, Your Excellency. I mean, there are other victims. There are other victims. And Mutukula is one of them. I'm opening up today because enough is enough. I've knocked your door so many times, it's been shut in my face. They say, every time in life you got to take a risk. This is my risk. This is my 15 minutes of fame, even if I'm driving down the road and those numberless cars knock me and I get buried. My bones will wake up from whichever grave I've been thrown in and it will drum it into the night and say, no, hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Mutukula is there. The promises of jobs is there. You sent us to the civil service people to provide us with jobs. We're not saying give us jobs. We've got the qualifications to do those jobs. We have the qualifications. But you apply for a job and someone whose qualification is below yours, minus, gets a job, but you who has the qualification, you don't get the job. We send proposals to your ministry, to your office. The proposals are manipulated and then used and then provided, and then whatever it is they're doing, they don't know what they're doing because they didn't write the proposal. Someone else wrote the proposal. But it's out there. So you implement, but without knowing the remedial factors to rectify any problems that may arise. Is it too much to ask to be recognized? Is it too much? Is it too much to say, hey, I promised you a job, here is the job? Give me the job, see if I'm going to fail. If I fail, fire me. If I fail, fire me. That is okay. Get me through the door. Let me show you what I can do. Then we have people like say, representation of Uganda. See, I got my medal, sir. If you recall, in 1989, there was the 13th World Festival of Youth and Students. We went to Korea. I hope you recall that. I met you, I think, on three occasions. I met our Madame, our Mother of the Nation, Her Excellency, the Minister of Education and Sports, Her Excellency, the First Lady. I met her too. But it does not mean that I achieved anything from that meeting. Yes, I did. I met you gratefully, appreciatively. And I was promised things. Where's the delivery? And then there's also the case of the widows, like I've told you, Mutukula. People are promised things, but nothing is delivered. How can that happen? Yeah. For instance, defending things. I mean, this is surprising. I even still have things that I defend for NRM. I remember when Myoga came, I defended Myoga. People say I'm too yellow. I'm too NRM. I've forgotten my roots. And I told people, I don't know my roots. My roots started with NRM. That's when I knew who I was. NRC, by the way, it is NRC, NRA, NRC, then to the NRM. That's where I know who I was. That's where I know that I decided to do things. I wanted to do things. So, Mr. President, so that our birthdays don't end up in disappointment, lest we forget, give me an opportunity to present my case to you. Then shut me out yourself. Tell me to my face. Don't let your bodyguards, the security team, the people around you, shut me out. I didn't ask for a job. You said you'll give me a job. I didn't ask to see you. You said, come and see me. 23 years ago. 23 years ago. Every year I knock on your door, Mr. President. And every year I'm turned away like a beggar, But that's life. There are people who have and there are people who have not. We are the have-nots. We don't have the connections. We don't have anything. Just the memories. When will our memories be reality? When shall we wipe away our tears? When shall we get the bones of our relatives and bury them? Those are things we can only ask, and they will never be answered. I wear yellow, I support yellow. It doesn't say I'm a coward. I'm not a coward. I will fight for NRM to my last breath. Even when I'm buried, my bones in the grave will kick and shout NRM forever. Yoweri Kaguta Museveni forever. You are an illustrious leader. You will lead Uganda to greatness. Your son, Muhoozi Kainerugaba, will take over and he will lead Uganda to even greater heights. We shall see from the sideline, but we shall always support you. Whether you acknowledge us, whether you shut us down, or you accept us, we shall embrace NRM, we shall promote NRM, because NRM is our future. It's the future of Uganda. God bless you, Mr. President. May you live to 800 years like Abraham. Father the nation, promote the nation, develop Uganda. May your greatness be written for decades and decades and decades. And when MK comes to follow your footsteps, may he achieve greater heights. I'm not going to run anywhere. This is I. Okay? The people around you know who I am because they're the ones who have blocked me from getting to you. They're the ones who have stopped me at the gate. They're the ones who have torn all my letters. They're the ones who have opened my files, and the files have never come to your desk. Yes, they say it's on your desk, but nothing ever happens. I'm not going to go away. La luta continua, Mr. President. La luta continua. I remember that is one thing you used to say a lot of. So my struggle still continues. Today, I wish you a very, very happy birthday, Your Excellency, Mr. President. I say that in a humble way, and I appreciate everything you've done for Uganda, the peace, the security, the prosperity, all for greater heights. May you live long and prosper. May you live long and prosper. May you live long and progress. May you live long and prosper the nation that you have built to be a great nation. If I've said something wrong, I've already said it. It can't be taken back. If I've said something good, let's build on it. Okay? Mr. President, I look forward to seeing you and talking about this a lot better in person. And then I can tell you everything that I've been saying here. Okay? Happy birthday, Mr. President. And Mama Janet Museveni, Your Excellency, the First Lady of Uganda, thank you so much for blessing us with your husband. He has a great burden to carry, the greatest burden. And you lend him to us. We say thank you. And the children of Your Excellency, Mr. President, the children, your children, Natasha, Muhozi, Patience, Diana, the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren. We thank you for lending you our father. I call him our father because he's the father of the nation. We thank you for lending us your father, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. We thank you for lending him to us, the nation, so that he can lead us to something better. Thank you. All of you, enjoy your father's birthday. May you all live long. God bless you. I thank you. Like I said, there's part 1, there's part 2, there's part 3, there's part 4. Now, if I make it to part 2, it means I'm still alive. If I make it to part 3, I'm still alive. If I make it to part 4, maybe I'm still alive. And maybe part 5 will mean, yes, the Mutukula victims have been remembered. The so-called cadres who started with NRC have not been forgotten. Those who get medals like these have not been forgotten. I mean, this is real, not fake. The promises of the jobs have not been forgotten. I rest my case. A luta continua. A luta continua. Thank you.